Teresa Nasregar, and I'm the moderator of the presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Putri Zulfanama.
Hello everyone, I'm Sylvia Francisca Nababan.
Hello everyone, I'm Yunita Lubangan.
And hello everyone, my name is Delia Simbola.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning everyone. Today, my friend and I are going to explain about the different types of tests in language teaching and learning, which is today we are going to discuss about the topic of types of tests based on scoring, non-reference and criteria reference tests, also the topic of types of tests based on testing approach, discrete point and integrated testing. The first material will be presented by Nessa, and so Nessa, I'll give you the floor to yours.
Okay, now we go to the first topic. It is non-reference and criteria reference tests. Let's talk about non-reference tests first. We start from definition. Okay, imagine you are in a running competition with 100 other people. After everyone finishes running, the organizer ranks all runners from fastest to slowest. This is exactly how a non-reference test works. It compares your performance with other people who took the same test. The main goal isn't to see if you reach a specific score, but rather to see how you perform compared to others. Now we talk about the characteristics. The characteristics of non-reference tests are quite interesting. First, these tests are designed to spread out scores, meaning they want some people to score high and others to score low. It's like spreading students across different grades. Some get A, others get B, C, and so on. The questions in these tests range from very easy to very difficult to help create this spread. Your final score often comes as a percentage or ranking, like you perform better than 80% of test takers or you are in the top 25%. Now we talk about the real-world example. Let's look at some real-world example you might be familiar with. For the first example is the TOEFL test, which many students take to prove their English ability. When you get your TOEFL score, it shows how you compare to other test takers worldwide. Another common example is the SAT or Scholastic Assessment Test. It is the test that used for college admissions in the United States. Even IQ tests work this way. They compare your intelligence score with others in your age group. That's from me. I give that to you.
Thank you, Vanessa, for the explanation of the non-reference test. Now let's move on to the criteria reference test will be explained by Emi Anita. So Emi, the floor is yours.
Okay, the next material is criteria references text. Now let's understand criteria references text, which work very differently. Think about learning to drive a car. There are specific things you must know how to do parking, following traffic signs, changing lanes safely. Criteria references text checks if you can do these specific things regardless how others perform. It is not about being better than others, it's about proving you can do what's required. Okay, the second material is characteristic. The characteristics of these tests are quite different from non-reference tests. They usually have clear pacing score of standard. For example, you might need to get 70% correct test. The results are usually straightforward. Either you pass or fail, or you get specific scores showing what you can do. These tests focus on measuring specific skills or knowledge that you need for real-life situations. They don't care about comparing you with others. They only care about whether you can do what's required. Okay, the third material is a real-world example. Let me give you some clear real-world example of criteria references text. A driving license test is a perfect example. You either know how to drive safely or you don't. Your result doesn't depend on how well other people drive. Another example is CPR certification test you need to show you can perform CPR correctly. Regardless of how others perform. In language learning, many classroom tests are criteria references. Like when your teacher test is if you can introduce yourself in English, write a proper email or use past tense correctly. comparing in two approaches. To make the difference clear, let's compare them on final time. If you take a non-references test in math, your score of 85% might be excellent if most people score lower, but not so good if you most score higher. However, in a criterion references test, an 85% is always an 85%. So you can do 85% of what was tested, regardless of how others perform. Understand these differences is important because it helps you prepare better for tests. For a non-references test like TOEFL, you might want to practice a wide range of skills to perform better than others. For a criterion references test like a driving test, you need to focus on mastering specific skill to meet the required standard. Okay, this is all of my material, and I give it back to Medora.
Thank you, Timia, for the explanation of criterion test and comparing the two approaches. Now let's move on to the second point, which is the discrete point and integrated testing. For the first material, is in discrete point testing will be explained by Julia and Paola. Julia, the floor is yours. Thank you to the moderator. Okay, for the next material, we discuss about approaches to label testing, discrete point, and integrative testing. For the first point, discrete point testing. Let's start by understanding discrete point testing. Imagine you have a big puzzle instead of looking at the whole picture. Discrete point testing is like checking each puzzle piece separately. In language testing, it means testing one specific language element at a time. For example, instead of testing your overall English ability, it tests your knowledge of specific grammar rules, vocabulary words, or pronunciation of individual sounds one by one. For the second is characteristic. The characteristic of discrete point testing are quite unique. First, its question focused on testing just one language item. Think of it like a math test where each question tests only one rule, like addition, subtraction, or multiplication spread. These tests usually have clear right or wrong answers, like multiple choice questions or fill in the blank exercise. They are easy to score because there are usually only one correct answer. Also, these tests can check many different language points quickly because each question is short and specific. Okay, for the third, real-world examples. Let me give you some real-world examples of discrete point testing that you might have encountered. When your teacher gives you a vocabulary quiz when you match words with their definition, that's discrete point testing. Another example is when you have to choose the correct verb tense. A sentence is like yesterday I went gone to the store. Grammar exercise when you have to change sentences from present to past tense are also discrete point tests. Even pronunciation tests where you have to identify which word have a different sound, like cat, hat, hood, and mat, are examples of this approach. Okay? Thank you to Julia for explaining the topic of discrete point testing. Now let's move on to the second topic, which is the introductory testing, will be explained by Putri Zurapratama. For Putri, the floor is yours.
Now we are moving to integrated testing. Let's understand integrated testing, which is quite different. Going back to our puzzle example, integrated testing is like looking at how well you can put a whole puzzle together. In language terms, it tests how well you can use multiple language skills together. Just like in real life, when we actually use language, we don't use grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation separately. We use them all together, and that's what integrated testing checks. The second material is characteristic. The characteristics of integrated testing are more complex. These tests require you to use multiple language skills at the same time. They often don't have just one correct answer instead. They look at how well you can communicate overall. These tests usually take longer to complete and can be harder to score because they are checking many things at once. They try to create real-life situations where you need to use language naturally, combining with different skill and knowledge. And the last material is real-world example. Let me share some real-world example of integrated testing. A common example is when you have to write an essay in English. To write an essay, you need to use grammar, vocabulary, spelling, and organization skills all at once. Another example is when you have to listen to a lecture and then write a summary. This tests your listening, understanding, and writing skills together. Role play activities where you have to participate in a conversation are also integrative tests because you need to understand what others say, think about appropriate response, use correct grammar and vocabulary, and also pronounce words correctly, all the same time. Now I will give back to the moderator.
Talking about the descriptive testing and recursive testing, let's compare them to help us to understand it better. So to understand the difference better, let's compare them. Descriptive test question. The example of the question is like, choose the correct past tense, which is I, eat, ate, eaten, dinner. And the second is the interrogative test question, which is the example is like, write a paragraph about what you did yesterday. In the first example, you're only doing tests on past tense verb. In the second example, you need to use past tense, appropriate vocabulary with sentence structure, proper punctuation, and logical organization all together. Both of those have their uses in negative testing. Descriptive testing is good for checking specific knowledge and identifying particular areas where students need help. Integrative testing is better for seeing how well students can actually use the language in real-life situation. Good language teachers often use both types of tests to get a complete picture of their students' abilities. Now let's move on to the conclusion of the material, which is in summary, understanding different types of tests in language learning is essential for both students and teachers. Non-reference and criterion reference tests serve distinct purposes, while non-reference tests compare student performance against others. Criterion reference tests evaluate specific skills regardless of their performance. I think that's all for our materials. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you guys in the next presentation. Thank you and goodbye.